TVC Breakfast, we now take you to this very important conversation. Now, the Senate has instructed the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, to initiate a comprehensive investigation into the recent killings in Agwa-Rukuba, Jos North local government area of Plateau State. Now, the resolutions follow the motion moved by Senator Dicket Palang, Plateau State, and the senator representing Plateau North, who raised urgent concerns over the deteriorating security situation in Kerma and Jos North local government area. In response to the situation, IGP Disu deployed the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, DIG Umar Nadada, to Plateau State to assess the security situation, coordinate ongoing operations, and strengthen the existing security architecture. The Inspector General of Police has also intensified operations through the deployment of additional officers to tackle the ongoing security challenges and forestall any further breakdown of law and order across the state. Joining us for this conversation is Global Hostile Environmental Special Expert, Dr. Femi Aratokun Ali. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning for having me on your program.
It's good to have you on the show this morning. Thank you very much. The last time I had you, we were still talking about, security matters, and
yes, I remember
we're on it today
well.
again.
Yeah, we're on it today.
I see the table is filled up, but let's go straight into the conversation now.
Well, the table is not filled up. It's just little tiny things around.
We all saw what happened. This is actually a very serious conversation. We all saw what happened. We saw lifeless bodies on the floor. We saw the attack that happened, and it just put Nigerians into mourning, because these are people that have lost their families and loved ones. And now we're seeing that the Senate is saying that Tunji Disu, you need to go out and make sure that we get these people that have committed this kind of crime. But before we even go into this, I just want to ask you this very direct question. With the insecurity in Nigeria, what do you think is the first fundamental problem?
Good morning, Nigerians, and thank you for having me on this very special program today. I want to say one thing to Nigerians today, and it's either we like it or not. We should just take it the way it is. We do not have insecurity problem in Nigeria. We do not have security problem in Nigeria. What we have in Nigeria today is security business. Yes.
What does that mean?
That simply means a lot of people are actually using the so-called security to now perpetrate different acts to make money. Using the vulnerable people to make money. That is what we have. Look at the number of ransom being going on, kidnapped, and people donating money just to get their loved one back. Are you telling me how many months, how many years ago, up till now, how many people have been prosecuted so far? And these are the kind of things they will actually use to scare people around. Yes, what we have here are just training materials. They are not real. They are just replicas and whatnot. They are just dummies. But the question is this: when we want to train our security officers, what kind of training are we giving them? It's like telling somebody that's just passed out from school, that has never actually been in the use of computer, and he or she calls himself, I'm a computer scientist. That is exactly what we have in Nigeria today. Many security officers today are yet to really see the real test of what security should look like in terms of scenario. But the next thing, we're security expert, we're security expert. That is what we have today in Nigeria.
All right, but still to follow up, with what happened in Agwa-Rukuba, we all saw, the sad incidents that happened. And now we see that the president has even cancelled, he postponed his trip, to Ogun State, because he needs to go to Just, to see the families and all of that. But tell me, what's the way forward from this? And what are some of the things you're expecting from, Tunji Disu as well? Because he's the new Inspector General of Police, and there are a lot of expectations. People are hoping that during his tenure, we will get to see change. We will get to see that we've eradicated this security business, like you called it.
Right. Tunji Disu is a good tactical police officer. I've known him for a while now, and I know he can do better because he's coming from a different background that others are not really seeing. However, it's still very new, when it comes to this office. He's acquired today. So let us give him time, and let's see, maybe it's going to bring out or bring in different people.
Do we have that much time?
Oh, yeah, we do.
With the recent killings we're seeing happening, do we still have time?
We do, because these killings are not just new thing that has just been happening.
But it's intensifying now.
It's intensifying. Then it should buckle up and, start realizing that, what do I need to do? Who do I need to bring on board? Do I need to go conventional, or do I need to bring new ideas into the system? Do I need to call from people from diaspora as well? Because we have security Nigerians all over. Why are we not tapping into all these guys and bring them on board? Maybe sign a contract with them and let's see if there's going to be a turnaround or not.
Yeah, most definitely. So this is a country that is struggling on different ends, multiple ends, because the issue is multifaceted. We're working.
We're not struggling. We're not just acting.
Right. So, okay. you definitely break it down for us. But
Yeah.
what I'm actually saying is that, as you've said, lawmakers actually describe this crisis as, having ethnic, religious, and economic dimensions, which you started off, talking about. And if we are moving away from the dominance of oil, we are working on our economy to be stronger.
Yeah.
And then on one hand, we're having insecurity dragging us back. And we have this current administration, increasing the funds, the budget for security spending and all of that. Even the president donating his own salary to the Nigerian soldiers. So where exactly do you think we are missing it? Who are those making money out of it? Is it the ragtag kidnappers, bandits, terrorists that are kidnapping people, making money for their sponsors? And where exactly do they get, some of this ammunitions that they use against the Nigerian nation?
Well, let's start from here. What the criminals are using are just what we've seen here now. Now, who are these set of actors? They are equally Nigerians like me and you. So the question is this: who are their sponsors? Obviously, some investigation must have gone through, and some people will definitely know some set of people, perhaps, backing them or sponsoring them. The question is, why have we not made any arrests so far?
They've made arrests. We've seen that. Several arrests have been made by the...
Where? Prosecution?
The prosecutions are ongoing for
What do you mean ongoing? How long
there were
been?
killings, they arrested some people.
And then killings, they arrested how many years ago? You know I'm from Owo.
Right.
So I can tell you for a fact, the problem still remains the same in Owo. Yes, it's a fact. The question is, we have Amotekun, fine, but in what way are we tactically addressing the issue of security officers tackling all this?
Exactly where do you think we are failing?
That is exactly where we're failing, because we have the security budget vote, not well spent where they should put it.
How would they have spent it, do you think?
Do you really think they're actually spending it the right way? When was the last time that we actually have any senators or lawmakers auditing our security architecture in the country today? Have we actually been to any criminology schools that we have in Nigeria to okay, once you guys are finished, we want you on board. This is what we need you guys to do.
Yeah, well, we see the federal government, deploying, forest guards. I'm sorry. We see places opening up for trainings, for
who are those training them? What kind of training?
Okay, so I want to get it. Your issue is that you feel like they're not. We have security personnel, but they're not trained.
They're not well trained. I'm not saying they're not trained, but they're not well trained, and they're not given the adequate training that the country needs today. That's what I'm saying. So
what are we getting from the US that sent in more than 200 soldiers to train us? To work.
Training who? Training
Nigerian
military.
soldiers.
Nigerian soldiers are not Nigerians.
What?
The president said we need to have close protection arm. So that means private security citizens, private security officers must act now. We're not saying the army or the military are not doing their best. We're not saying we want to overpower the police. They're actually doing their own best as well. But what about the rest?
But what do you mean Nigerian soldiers are not Nigerians?
What I'm saying when I say Nigerian soldiers are not Nigerians is we have them differently. They are Nigerians, so let us leave them where they are. They are doing their best. In fact, they've overstretched them already. So let us now face our Nigerians, our own people, our own security officers. That's exactly what I'm saying. When we face our own security officers that you see around, then let us ask, what kind of training can we give to all these guys? Let us see the government that will now say we want to support the private sector so that they can enhance more security ideas into them to help police, help the LASMA, help the military, and help others.
Yeah. I don't know whether you'll agree with this perspective. You cannot fight terrorism without fighting the causes of terrorism. Yeah. No matter how hard you try, you have to deal with some of these the causes. Now, this is a perspective, which I don't think is in conflict with yours anyway. Okay. That we used to have what they call West African Grazing Reserve Route.
Okay.
Across the entire West Africa, right from Futajalon down up to Nigeria. Yeah. In the late 40s, 50s, and 60s. Over a long period of time, cities have expanded, villages have become cities, and people have taken over, built houses. Then you have schools taking over where it used to be, grazing reserve routes. Then you have a different situation again also. Because of the need to feed population, farming exploded. And so more people are farming, using those land. So there are those who traditionally are using that grazing reserve route, who now felt somehow to say, hang on a minute, we need, because of climate change, effect of climate change, we still need to use the Grazing Reserve Road.
Sure.
And part of the solution, which others are talking about, is why not create a ranch, you know, cattle ranching will solve that problem.
Agreed.
You know, and which I think is part of what the government is trying to address now. That look, if you look at the investment being promised by Brazil is going into the dairy sector, $1.5 billion. There's another $5 billion being targeted, you know, from Saudi Arabia, you know, to also go into animal husbandry. We don't know what will be the effect of this Israel, America, Iran war. It may affect that, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, except we deal with some of, we actually face the issue. The competition for land is one of the major problems. Climate change is another major problem. So we can't run away from it. No matter how much we put guns into it, we still need to address some of the causes of it. Lastly, there's also the issue of street kids. The over about 20 million, you know, street kids. They have no future. They are not stakeholders in this economy. They roam the streets day and night. At the end of the day, they keep growing by the day. What do you expect them to do in future? Are they not?
When you mention the street kids, do you really think they just want to start roaming the streets without no future, just like you mentioned? Do they have the neighboring environment? Were they actually given any chance, any platform? Do you think they don't have parents?
That's exactly what I'm saying. You know, apart from...
So are we actually harnessing the idea of let us make these guys very resourceful to our environment?
That's where I'm going, sir. That is, there are other reasons, there are various reasons that accounted for that 20 million street kids. But education is very important. We need to deal with the causes. One, how do we get these kids into school so that they don't become, you know, a reserve army for terrorists? And then the issue of land, how do we deal with that? Then we have problem of climate change. So within the context of your own security intervention, how do you think we can deal with these economic issues, human resource issues, and marry it with the training idea which you have, sir?
Thank you so much. You see, recently I went to Lagos State Drivers Institute. Not only me, I went with Duchess International Magazine, Duchess Africa, and some other NGOs that what can we actually do to support the drivers? Because drivers as well are a key part of this country's economy. And we discovered one thing. Most of them have got this eyesight problems. Most of them, alcoholic and whatever issues are ongoing as well. And some of them too, they really understand the hotspot where all these criminals are actually hiding. But the question is this, who do they actually report to? And how do you think people they report to are actually taking it seriously to make sure that yes, all these hotspots are actually destroyed? So when we want to talk about all this, a lot has got to, that's why I said Tunji Disu can actually change the security narrative in this country if he wants to. But the question is, has he got the right ideas? Has he got the right advisors to tell him this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do, that is what we need to do?
But let me take you up on this. You know, I understand that training is very important, but just like Shomi
it's not just said, training education.
Training and education, but just as Shomi has said, with what we're facing in Nigeria also, we need to take it from the roots, because even if you train people, you know, we need to make sure that we stop these killings as well. Absolutely. But let's talk about state police. How well do you think state police will help us? Because we know that the president has made that bold statement that no going back on state policing. Do you think state policing will also, you know, just help eradicate, you know, everything that's happening, and maybe to give these criminals some sense of fear that right now, you know, they can be attacked and they will not just take us as vulnerable people?
I love the fact that the president mentioned that, yes, let us have state police. Let us divide the federal from the state. But when we're doing that, what percentage of police are going to be federal and what percentage are going to be state? And who are the people we're actually using for state policing? Is it going to be indigenous states, people, or are we going to be having a different arm of the police now being divided into two? To now be, this is federal, this is this. Now, when we talk about this, it is bogus. It's going to be massive billion worth of projects to do. And when we want to do it, are we going to follow the trend of what the police has been before, or are we going to make it a different one that can actually accommodate and be security customer focused to the states?
That's right.
When we're talking about all this, something like this will definitely come in place. Body-worn cameras. How many police officers do you see walking the beats that are with this. With these are tiny things that I believe can work better.
That's right.
Are we going to be having police officers now, state police officers now with AK-47 all around like the federal police? I don't know.
So I'm wondering, in all of this, you said we are the first line of our own security. We see women, young children being trained in taekwondo, first line of defense whenever you're attacked, maybe in a quiet place or maybe in your room and all of that. How do you think? And when the governor of Plateau State went to meet the citizens, they would also challenge, they tasked him to say, listen, we need to start bearing arms by ourselves in order to defend ourselves because we see that the security architecture has been overwhelmed. The soldiers, the police, etc. Even the terrain, we know our own terrain better than anyone who will come in what. Where do you stand on the position of we need to own our own first line of defense, maybe by carrying our own guns and all of that? How do you weigh on this debate?
I don't think Nigeria needs to go through the Second Amendment in America, in Nigeria today, no. I would not support the idea of arms bearing, but what I would support is self-defense that can actually match up with things like this.
Self-defense in what way? You can't,
in what capacity?
You can't be a good boxer in front of,
Look, we don't see, before we start seeing people with weapons coming to your community, definitely there should be some intel. Where are the drones? Where are the CCTV street cameras? These are key things that you can actually use to actually support your first line of defense. How do you even spot people around? Do you even know the number of people in your street? Who are the strangers that just moved into your street today or last night? How do we take accountability or, like population head count, as in this is who we have in our streets and stuff? We can do head counts, it's easy, but the question is this, if we task ourselves to all this, can it actually be a continuous project?
For me, I'll say the fear of, just giving civilians weapons is quite scary because these are not just ordinary weapons. How do you even use it? Because sometimes you maybe see somebody use it on a fellow civilian and even not, an enemy. So it's I'm very skeptical about giving, civilians weapons.
Agreed. I totally agree with you because holding stuff like this might probably be a no-no. I don't want it. And again, just imagine this. These are the kind of things they use to scare a lot of people. This is a sword.
A sword,
But look at this sword and just check this out. How many of our officers do you really think has got the real thing?
Bulletproof.
Bulletproof.
This is a bulletproof and at the same time it's a star vest.
So it
works two ways. The question is this, look at our police officers and ask, what you're wearing, is it outdated? Is it real? Or not?
From everything you're saying, this is a very fantastic point you're making here, because from everything you're saying, I'm just saying that we have police officers, we have the force, but they don't have the right equipment. So even apart from training, because do they actually have the right utensils to use? That's another very important conversation.
That's exactly my point. All I'm saying is this, I'm not bringing all this maybe to scare Nigerians, but just to show Nigerians that, look, we have the right things, we have the right thinking guys, men, women that can actually deliver for their country. But the question is, do they have the
But what's the way forward? What's the way forward now? What do you...
It's from the government engaging.
What do you think Nigeria should do?
The government should engage better. It is not about politics this time around. It's not about ADC, APC, MPP or whatever. Let us engage transparently.
Are you saying the recruitment going on is not enough? Are you saying that private security outfits should also be co-opted into fighting insecurity? Because when the president said all the VIP police officers must be withdrawn, and then the NSCDCs and all other security parastatals should, if they want any VIPs.
It's a good idea for VIPs to be privately owned and stuff like that. That's fine. But my question is this, do we really have the capacity? Is the government actually supporting the private companies to let us enhance and let us subsidize the rate at which we train people as well? Because training is not cheap.
Training who? Is it training those
training
who are
the private citizens? Training the private citizens that will become VIP close protection officers, which I know vast a lot of people want to be, but the moment they hear the amount, the number of days, the first thing is, where would I get this money? By the time I finish up, what I'm training on, will my salary match it at the end of the day? It's another key question.
Let's look at this issue from roles. The federal government has a major role to play is not only because of the transnational nature of terrorism. You know, it cuts across
border security and all of that.
Engaging with Chad, with Niger Republic, Cameroon, and some other countries to ensure that there's a joint action against these terrorists. That's one. The second aspect of it is also ensuring, you know, that soldiers, we have enough soldiers and they are properly equipped, and also police officers. But over the years, we have actually realized, I'm going back to what I was trying to ask, the fact that we've had the police system so weak, unable to respond, you know, to the security challenges, necessitating, you know, the calls for state police. For instance, you can be a police officer, you are transferred from, you joined in Kano, and you are transferred from Kano to Enugu or to Lagos. It will take months, if not a year, to even understand the environment.
Yes.
All the intelligence you have about your local community, you have lost it. Within that context, when you now look at the role of state police, which in any case would be managed by the state government, don't you think that employing people who locally are state police officers by state government, you know, they would have adequate knowledge of the environment, and that will help in a long way to achieve what you are saying about knowing the people that moves into your street, that moves into your neighborhood and all that? Will that not, state police not strengthen security in our country?
It will definitely do more than, you know, strengthening the federal police and the state policing, because at the end of the day, everything now boils back again to budgeting. Cost. When we talk about budget and cost, we need to look at what are we buying. The kind of trade they have in Kano, is that the same trade they have in Borno? The kind of trade they have in Borno, do we have it in Osun State? So they have now, you see, they have to, like, okay, what we're going to be budgeting for Osun State might probably be different for what we're budgeting for Ondo State. Ondo will be different from Edo. The kind of problem they are facing in Edo, are we facing it in Lagos? What they're actually facing when it comes to Oshodi, is that what they face on the island, Lekki, and not the rest? So they have to look at a whole lot of variables around here now to now see what will work better. Who are those that will be positioned here? Who are those that will be positioned there? So that they just don't start doing transferring of police officers up and down. At the end of the day, you're just mixing their brains. They will,
no, but there are security trust funds being set up by different governments of the north and even here in Lagos.
They might probably set up different security trust funds, but we don't want to have a project that is dead on arrival.
You know, but quickly, the president is heading to Jos. What are some of your expectations from that visit, and what do you think that that visit will do? Do you think it will give the people some sort of confidence that, you know, our president is here speaking to us? I
think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did the right thing, cancelling whatever engagement.
Postponing, actually.
Postponing, that's fine, and it's gone there. And I think I'm seeing in so many years, he's doing something completely different that, you know what, let me go there myself, let me see things for her and understand what the situation is. Let me even see the victims themselves and speak to them directly. You are the #1 citizen. So when your citizens are crying, you as the father should go there and look for a way to just make the calmness and, you know, everywhere be in order. Maybe with that, the police, the military, and the security around just will not like, let us re-strategize and do the right thing.
But lastly, you know, before we let you go, because of our time, there's been conversations on social media where people are saying that, you know what is happening right now, that we're seeing it happen so fast and we're seeing it reoccurring, you know, it's a sabotage because we're seeing election coming, and this is actually a sabotage on the APC government. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm not into politics, but let me just say this to you guys. Yes, many might not like APC. Many might not like Labour, many might not like PDP, many might not like ADC, but the winning party should do more so that the Nigerians we have today can trust them. The trust we look for is this. Can you provide us with security at least? Can you give us light? We're not asking you for water anyway. We're not asking you for any other thing.
There's water everywhere.
There's water everywhere. But let us have security. And this is where we all come in, because we are all equally concerned. Because a lot of people say we don't want Nigeria to happen to us. It can happen to anybody.
Anybody, of course.
So, but for that not to happen, we all need to join hands together, irrespective of any party, and let's build our country. We have no other place we call Nigeria. This is the only place we can call Nigeria, and this is where the whole thing can happen.
It's a beautiful submission.
Exactly. Very, very, very beautiful submission. Let me give you a handshake. Thank you so much. Yes, yes, thank you so much.
She was scared when she saw all these paraphernalia.
Ibrahim,
like,
it's Ria Abdul. I'm never scared of anything. But anyway, it was beautiful. I just love the fact that you've highlighted that, you know, even our personnel, they need the utensils to actually fight, you know, this insecurity. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. Well, after the break, we will focus on the aftermath